Good morning. Good morning. My name is Stephanie Bolton James, and I am the founder of the Women of Prince George's. And welcome this morning. Grand rising to everyone. We are having our third webinar of our webinar series. And this one is definitely, I hope you have your pad and pen to take some notes because the information here is critical. It's critical because of all the things that we have recently been through. And it's a very serious conversation about how to plan for your future to make sure that you don't have any hiccups moving forward. With these uncertain times with COVID-19, who would have ever thought? And we definitely need to have multiple revenue streams in our life. No longer is the day like our parents had where you work a job for 30 years. That is not an option anymore. Today, we have quite the lineup of speakers for our multiple streams of income webinar. It is mandatory now. And we're going to jump right in there because we have an hour and I'm going to try to stick to our time frame for our webinar. And we're going to start with Tamara Hush Lee. Tamara is a Fox 5 media personality and boutique owner of Hush Boutique. She is a woman who wears many, many hats, and she is just absolutely amazing. I don't know, and I call her Tam, and I think so many others do. I don't know how you are able to get it all done, Tam, because you are one lady. I see you on Fox 5, then I see you speaking at events, and then you have your own boutique. And I know you've definitely had to pivot through this time period to look at different ways that you can produce income. I think I even got something from you on customized masks that I could order with my logo. So I wanted you to come on today, tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have done to manage during COVID-19.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, you guys. Good morning to everybody out there. Again, my name is Tam Hush Lee. Like she said, I am a Fox 5 personality, media personality. I'm also a boutique owner. I am a business educator. Oh God, I do so many things. I'm a celebrity wardrobe stylist. I'm a costume designer for movie sets. I do all things fashion. That's a good way to say it.
I love it.
Yeah, and so this pandemic, all I can say is contingency planning. Contingency planning. You better be able to just switch really quick and not get stuck because who would have ever thought, who would have ever thought that we would live during these times and, have to readjust and still run a successful business with all the things that are coming at you. And so I can tell you guys when COVID-19 first started, and when they started, saying that we had to, put the stay-at-home order in place, I panicked for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I gave everybody 2 minutes to panic. Okay. I think I had anxiety for, just for a second because I was trying to figure out, okay, wow, where's my flow? Where do I jump in? Like, what am I going to have to do? Is my business going to fail? All of those things are natural feelings for a business owner during such a time because we all are used to having things under control. We're all used to our businesses, being on automatic pilot. And when things like this happen, you freak out. So one of the first things, obviously, was, don't panic, calm down, and get a good plan. Number two is to tap into resources. Tap into resources from the state and your local county. I know Angela Alsobrooks was doing an amazing job during COVID-19 with helping small businesses with loans and grants and things of that nature. So don't be afraid to tap into those things because they're really helpful. Number three for me was adding digital sales channels, just being able to adapt, tap into your email blast because now we have to figure out how do we keep in contact with our customers if they were once in our presence or if you have a storefront or a showroom. Now we got to amp up those email marketing, personal emails, DMs, texts, whatever it is that you have to do to be able to stay in the face of your customer, you have to do it. One other thing was that for a while, I was offering pull up and pick up. And so there are some things that you have to do. What I tell all small businesses is to look at the bigger businesses and look at what they're doing. They're our models. You know, we're small businesses. And so whatever Target was doing, whatever Nordstrom was doing, I made sure that I was also doing, because we are, you know, we're in competition. And so we don't want to get left behind. The worst thing that you can do is to become stuck with doing business as you see fit, when we have to do business as, you know, whatever the world brings us. And so that was another good one. Another thing is to amp up social media. Social media is so big right now. Every small business, every retailer, you have to go hard on social media. And whether that is going live, you know, IGTV, there's so many different things that you can do on social media. And I have a lot of people in my classes tell me, well, I don't like being in front of the camera. You know, I don't like doing this. I don't like that. Well, if you don't, you better find you a face for your business. Okay. Find a young person that loves to do it. You know, find something. So whatever you're not good at, find somebody on your team who is, and put them in front of that camera, because that's so crucial. Social media is so crucial. And so that was some of the things, some of the reasons why I've been able to thrive through this entire pandemic.
Okay.
I know
What about
that was a lot.
Tell me what your thought is. I mean, and that was all good information. Tell me what your thought is on pop-up shops. Is there a way to duplicate that concept virtually?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I've had to readjust the entire way that I do business now. You know, people who once were not shopping online, that we're all forced to shop online, you know, especially during the quarantine. There was no other way to get food. I mean, you know, get groceries, food, shopping, everything. And so now that society has reconformed everybody on shopping online, so now you can do pop-up shops on IGTV. I go live every Saturday on IGTV, where I do tutorials. I have a rack there. I'm telling everybody what's new, how it fits, you know, what it looks like, you know, all the details. And then of course, you know, I may offer coupons. There's so many different things that you can do, but that's basically a virtual pop-up shop. And so, yeah, it's like being in the face of, you know, your customers. And where else for free? Where else can you get a hold of hundreds of women and literally just show them the entire showroom?
Right. So it's really a window of opportunity if you manage it correctly, because it seems to me that when you, like, the direct contact that we all have now is more impactful than rolling the dice and, you know, reaching out to a scoop of people. The people that engage with you are like a warm lead. You know, they're reaching out to you because they have some sort of interest. So then the other piece is for you to make sure that you capture them once they reach out to you, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. And another way, obviously, small businesses, word of mouth right now. A lot of people, well, I know when the quarantine first started, Amazon was even getting backed up with shipping, you know, FedEx, UPS. And so a lot of shoppers, they want to know that they want to be confident that they're going to get their product. And so another way, even when I was doing pop-up shops, I would usually post on my stories the packages going out every day, because that reassures people that, oh my God, okay, they're shipping around the clock and they're getting packages out. And so there's so many different ways that you can communicate what you need to communicate to your customers on social media.
Right. And I would think timing would be key. I know for me, you know, I have special meetings or engagements coming up. And so therefore there's particular items that I need to look for that I'm used to being able to run out and pick up at my favorite location. But now I'm having to shift to, you know, let me see what they have online. And what's critical when you order online is the turnaround time. So being able to let people know that you're shipping on time, that's very important. I think I ordered something, not to slam Home Depot, but I ordered a I think it's called a it's a ladder. It's like a chain ladder. It's a
Uh-huh.
3-story chain ladder that you can get for your home in the event there's an emergency and you need to
Yeah.
exit. And
Yeah.
so I ordered that in May, and I still don't have it.
Ooh, ouch. Ooh.
So I think, so that kind of thing definitely makes a
Yeah,
difference.
yeah,
Definitely makes a
timing is everything. Nobody
right.
wants anything late. And so, we were already before pre-COVID-19, we were already readjusting. Amazon just totally just came in and just swooped the retail industry. And now before, could you ever imagine getting a package on Sunday? 2 years ago, you would never imagine getting a package on Sunday. And so now
Right.
everybody wants everything quick. Everybody has this Amazon Prime mentality. And so it's very important for every store, every retailer to get on the heels of Amazon because they've totally changed. And so people don't want to wait long. And so we've had to adjust how we ship here. I've had to have my girls stay longer, and ship
Right.
around the clock, or maybe print labels at night. We would literally print labels in the middle of the night so that we would be ready to ship. And so you got to do whatever it is that you got to do, readjust your business model to fit the needs of what's going on.
Okay. All right. And that's really what it boils down to is you have to readjust and adapt to where we are
Yeah,
today. What do you think
absolutely.
for yourself? Because how long have you had your boutique?
Oh, goodness, 16 years. 16 years.
Okay.
So a very long
Wow.
time.
Wow.
Yes.
And with that, having been in business for such a long time and done business a certain way, what do you think your biggest adjustment is that you have made during this period? What is your number one adjustment that you have made?
Um, just readjusting to online, everything
Okay.
being 100% online, and
Okay.
not readjust, adjusting my e-commerce, just the model with how I communicate now. Email blasts are going out on the radar. We've also added text messages, and so now we
Okay.
send text messages out to our clients. We let them know we have a thing called the Hush Insider. We have a loyalty program, and so we've added that to the list. And we send them text messages when something new comes in. We give them first dibs to items that will sell out quick. And so there are different programs that we've had to add to basically stay in the mix.
Okay. Okay. Very good. And so, lastly, let me ask, so because you actually have a storefront, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in having a storefront, and I guess other people, for example, we've had Milk and Honey, the owner of Milk and Honey on before to talk about,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
how do you manage that to cover that responsibility? Does the person who you pay your mortgage to work with you on that? Are they flexible? How does that piece work when you have a storefront?
Well, the great thing about my business model is that my online has been thriving for years. And so it already, the overhead is already included. And so I haven't had a shortage. My sales have actually amped up. The harvest during the pandemic has been amazing for my boutique. And I think it's because we didn't take any shorts. Like as soon as the pandemic started, we started adjusting everything and diving right into how to get more sales. Whether it was advertising on Facebook and Instagram. And so what I love about what the pandemic has done for myself, and I know a lot of other retailers, is that it's made us readjust how we move forward with business. And so now, I was just telling my sister the other day, we have customers saying, when is the showroom going to reopen? And I said, I don't know if we're going to reopen. We haven't reopened,
Right.
but business has done
Right.
that we don't necessarily need to. When we look at the numbers, I'm a numbers girl. I graduated from Bowie State University. I have a degree in accounting, so numbers are very, very, very important to me. And so the numbers have shown that I definitely don't need to be open. It's kind of a waste. And so now we're adjusting where we're basically going to be 100% online moving forward.
Okay. And you know what? That is what I'm hearing consistently, is that this has shown people that they don't have to. It's actually more beneficial from a revenue standpoint as well to go to shift it onto, the e-commerce strategy. So
Yeah.
very good, very good. And so in terms of, I guess, you being a spokesperson on Fox 5,
Mhm.
how often are you doing that and commenting on fashion trends and things like that?
So I've been with Fox for 4.5 years now, and typically I'm on at least once or twice a month. And I get to choose my topics sometimes, and sometimes they give me topics to talk about. But yeah, it's been an amazing platform. And it's definitely helped my business 100%. I mean, obviously the exposure, I definitely started to see the benefits of being on Fox probably about a year into doing the segments, because people get used to seeing your face. And, and it's funny because they call me a fashion expert, right? And I tell this all the time to my students, what is a fashion expert? You can't go to school to be a fashion expert, but fashion expert comes from me always being ready, me being consistent, me knowing exactly what I'm talking about, me delivering great information to the viewers. And so now people just rely on me. So whatever I say fashion wise, it goes.
And you know what? I love that. I love that because that is something that you created by being thorough
Yeah.
in, something that you were involved in. And so
Yeah.
therefore you are now the fashion expert. So
Mhm.
that, I mean, absolutely hands off to you, because branding is critical.
Totally.
Branding from all aspects is critical. So
Yeah.
definitely hats off to you for that. And let me just close by asking this. In terms of, you said your students, what are you teaching? Is that
So
something else you're doing I didn't
yeah,
know about?
listen, it's one of my other hats, because I started
Okay.
this out. I've been doing it for 3 years now. I teach twice a year. I started this class called Build a Boutique with Tam Hush-Lee. It is a 6-week blueprint to how to build your business, how to basically start with an idea, how to build your boutique over a 6-week period. It's a class that's taught on Zoom. So I'm literally on there live teaching them, and they're with me for 6 weeks. And then once they graduate, I take them to Magic, which is the biggest wholesale retailer, and I, help them shop and basically launch their boutiques. I started this idea because my inbox would be flooded with people saying, "Can you be my mentor? Can you be my mentor?" And so you guys know mentorship is awesome, but it's time consuming. And so I said, there's got to be a way that I can help lots of people at the same time. And so that's how that was birthed. And so I've had my hands on so many other successful businesses that have come behind me. And so that's just been an awesome thing too, just to have all these. I've literally taught probably over 500 students now that I literally have boutiques all over the United States.
That's fantastic. And if anyone wants to get information on that, would they just go to your website?
Yeah, you can either follow me on Instagram at Boutique Hush. All of my information is there. Or if you're interested
Okay.
in the class, you can go to buildaboutique.tamhushlee.com.
Very good. Very good. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Tam. I
You're
really do
welcome. Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time I talk to you, I always learn more and more about you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Very, very good. And I hope that you can hang on and answer a few questions towards the end here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. So next we have to share with us her business model is Shelley Weems. Shelley Weems is with Team Achieve Marketing. I have known Shelley, oh my gosh, probably at least 20 years. And I know her. She is a stellar, she won't say this, but she is a stellar IT professional. She has been voted top female IT professional several times in her industry. And but she also has another hat that she wears, and which speaks to having additional streams of income. So Shelley, will you please share with us today Team Achieve Marketing Group, what that group is about and how that can assist us in additional revenue streams?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for that introduction, Stephanie. I want to thank you and the women of Prince George's County for inviting me to be a panelist today. I'm very excited to be among such a dynamic group of entrepreneurs and giving us a platform to share how to earn additional streams of income. So thank you for that. As you
Absolutely.
mentioned, my name is Shelley Weems, and just a little bit about my background and how I got involved and started Team Achieve Marketing Group. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been blessed to own my own IT company for over 10 years, and I've been involved in the traditional business space in IT for over 20 years. Now, as a serial entrepreneur, Stephanie, I'm always looking at business trends. And about 10 years ago, I got connected with an energy company out of Dallas, Texas, because I really became aware of the long-term sustaining aspects of energy and solar power. Also, I'm somebody that really focuses on wealth management. So I'm always looking for opportunities to not only to be able to earn income, but also to maintain income over the long term to meet my financial goals. And I'm happy to say with the energy industry, I've been able to achieve both of those goals. So I started to achieve my marketing group about 10 years ago, and I'm an energy broker. I have over 8,000 business partners domestically and internationally. And then after only being in business, Stephanie, for 3 years, I'm working from home. I want to make that very clear, working from home and on a part-time basis between 10 to 15 hours a week. I was able to earn enough residual income to pay every bill in my household. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to paint the picture of the income earning potential that's offered by the energy space. And you may say, well, why, Shelley? You know why? Because energy is a commodity. It's a commodity that everyone uses every single day. I don't have to convince you that you need electricity. You even use it when you're not even home. And it's something that's built into everyone's budget. So if there is an opportunity that can allow you to save money on your utilities, but also make money, to me, that was just a smart wealth management decision. So today, I wanted to share with you all how you can leverage the energy space, not only to save money on your utilities, but help your family and friends save money on their utilities, but also build a profitable business that allows you to build legacy income for you and your family. So I do have a 5-minute video, Stephanie, that gives some high-level points about that I'd like to share. But certainly if anyone wants additional information about the opportunity, I'd be happy to meet with people, one-on-one to talk about them in more detail.
Okay, very good. So are you going to launch the video yourself, or is... Oh, there we go. All right.
Mm.
All right, so there you have it, Stephanie.
Very good. That was a nice overview of, I guess, one of the businesses that you work with. And I know that you have a couple of different businesses that you work with. But as far as Ambit is concerned, what is currently your position with Ambit?
Well, right now, Stephanie, I'm an executive consultant, and that is basically the next to the highest level. The highest level you can go is national consultant. I've been an executive consultant since being in the business for about 2 years, and you know, that is what I've been able to attribute. And it's just by, you know, thinking differently about helping people save money on their energy bill. It's a bill, as I said, that's built into their budget. And just by showing people how to save money, every time somebody just flicks on their lights, you know, and their electric meter spins, I'm making it a residual income.
Wow.
Okay. And the residual income, like the video said, is paid once a month.
Exactly.
And that's on the 15th of each month. Okay. And in terms of, you know, building your team, that helps get you to that successful level. What would you say, and I know you can't give me specifics, but what would you say if someone is looking at this as, an option for residual income? Is the average time it takes an individual before they start to see some money being deposited in that bank account?
It all is dependent upon the individual, how fast they build it, how slow they build it. And that's what I really loved about this business, because when I first got involved, I was working 18 to 16 hours a week. And I had very little time to build this, to get involved. So when I built it, it's literally in the car going to my customer and coming home from my customer, where I would just share with 2 or 3 friends. And then my sponsor would just show a video at my house every Wednesday. And that's how I built it for 6 months. I would invite people to take a look, show the video, and you know what? We would just close them because it just made sense on how you can make money and earn money in this business. So, how fast you build it, Stephanie, and how quickly you build it really depends on when you get your residual income, as well as the type of individuals you're getting involved in it. You make much more money off of a home that's in Potomac than a small studio apartment. So again, it just depends on the number of customers, their energy footprint. And here's the other thing I'd like to explain about that. With the onslaught of electrical cars, and every individual's home is going to have now a larger electrical footprint, because you'll have electrical cars, you'll have all your devices, you'll have your phone. And so I love it because that just helps my residual income to grow on a monthly basis. And as you said, it comes every 15th of the month, and there's a 15th of the month every single month. And here's the thing. One of the wonderful things about this business is today, let's say JL was my top consultant in the business. And for whatever reason, she decided, you know what, I don't want to be involved in this anymore. It does not impact my income, because guess what? Her customers are going to continue to pay their electric bill month after month after month. So my income is not jeopardized.
Okay. So in terms of support system, you joined Ambit and you want to make this work and make it fit. I'm assuming there's a formula, and with that formula, there's a certain amount of training and that type of thing. Tell me about the support system, because part of it, I know for me, would be, just some direction in this space that I'm not familiar with.
Well, we have many support channels, and Tam actually talked about a lot of them, especially with this new pandemic. We do a lot of Zoom calls. We do a lot of Zoom trainings. We have a process by which we get together with you. We explain to you, what is required for you to get started. And essentially all it is just getting access to your network and just talking to them and saying, hey, listen, I've just got involved in something. It can help you save money on your energy bill, and I'd like you to take a look at it and give me some feedback. And then, you know what, that's all we're asking new consultants to do, is to give us access to their network. They do 20% of the work. And let's say you were my new consultant, I would do 80%, which would be all of the heavy lifting to provide the video, answer questions, and get them onboarded as well. But the main thing is that you have to be teachable, you have to be coachable. And those are the main key things, is that if you're not teachable and coachable and not willing to follow the lead of your sponsor, then you won't be successful. And there is a strategic way of building it. And a lot of people who come from, and I was guilty of it. A lot of people who are professionals or who are doing very well in their 9-to-5, they try to apply the same processes they use in their 9-to-5, and it doesn't work in building this type of business. So
okay.
We have support mechanisms. We have training. I say it only costs $75 to get started, and I say it's a $75 self-development kit as well. You learn a lot of things about yourself. You learn a lot about your personality. You learn a lot about your weaknesses. And we have training vehicles and self-development vehicles to help you along the way with that as well.
Okay. All right. And then if anyone wanted to get more information on Ambit and wanted to do a deeper dive on some questions, we can share your contact information during the Q&A period. I know I'm definitely impressed with the system. It makes sense. Everybody has an electric bill. So it definitely makes sense in terms of sometimes when you're looking at approach, it definitely makes sense, with your strategy and digging into your own network, and you evaluate who in a Potomac category and, strategizing based on size of house and size of electric bill. It definitely seems like something that could work. So very good. Well, you have definitely been successful with it. That's for sure. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I just wanted to add one last item, because you touched upon something, is that I consider ourselves to be educators to explain to you how to leverage energy deregulation to not only save money, but to earn money. So that's all we do, is we educate, we share, and you know what? We just make it your decision as to whether it's a right fit for you. So thank you again, Stephanie, for allowing me to share this opportunity. And I look forward to future opportunities to work with you on something like this.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So next we have, absolutely. Next we have Mr. Joseph Kennedy. Joseph is one of the smartest people I know. Let me just say that, next to my dad. So, but he is going to talk to us a little bit today about stock investment. Now, I will say, stock investment is something that's sexy and attractive, and you want to say you have a little of this and you have a little of that, but it is a full-time commitment, and it is something that requires research, definitely strategy. As Joseph will say, some of the rules that are tried and true are all out the window right now with the stock market. But he is going to share with you guys today a strategy on, if you're interested, how to evaluate and look at investing in the stock market. So without further ado, Mr. Joseph.
Are you able to put my slides up?
Nanette, you have his slides?
Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right, first, let me just thank Stephanie James for inviting me to speak. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Stephanie and the work she and the women of Prince George's are doing. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll cover some basics about investing. And I'm going to go through the first slides pretty quickly, but I really want to focus on the game plan and the hard lessons that I had to learn as far as investing. But one thing I want to make certain that I do is just demystify things. The stock market is not complex. But it does require time, and it requires some thick skin. But for people like me, it had to require some thin skulls. Talk a little bit about that as well. So if you can go to the next slide. This is the agenda. I want to talk about the basics, what a stock is, and what a game plan that you should consider in investing. The lessons learned, and some resources. Next slide. But just to give you a little bit of background about me, I am a former senior executive in government. I led an organization that provided reimbursable services to other federal agencies. We received no money from Congress. When I left, we were about a $450 million organization. I think they are continuing to take it to the next level. I am also a co-founder of the Innovation Scholarship Fund Association, and we provide scholarships to graduates and alumni and children of alumni of H.D. Woodson in Washington, D.C. I'm also a partner in the Kennedy Brothers, and we manage a property on Capitol Hill, my brother and I. And I am a co-founder of the Tulsa Renaissance Investment Group, and Stephanie is actually a founding member in that. And eventually what we're doing, or essentially what we're doing, is we're providing educational information to our members so they're better prepared to invest in the stock market. But what I am not, though, I am not a licensed broker or a financial advisor. So I don't want anyone to say I'm making recommendations about stocks or any particular company. So with that, go to the next slide and we'll talk about what is a stock. When you're purchasing a stock, you are purchasing a small piece of a company called a share. And this means you are a shareholder. And most stocks provide you with voting rights, things like you can elect the board of directors, you can talk about mergers, The more shares you have, though, the more say you have. So if you only have one share, you can imagine what kind of say you have compared to somebody who has 1,000,000 shares. And companies invest, or at least offer stock, to raise money. This is a better way for them to raise money as opposed to going to the bank. And so you sort of buy into it. You share as a shareholder in the rewards, but you also share in the failures if that company doesn't do well at all. Uh, um, let's talk about what the stock market is. That's the next slide, please. The stock market is like any other marketplace. It's like the farmer's market, in some cases, eBay. You go there to buy and sell goods. And the stock market uses exchanges as a marketplace. For instance, the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ are places where people will go and buy and sell stocks. Next slide, please. I hear this all the time. How much money is needed to invest in the market? And it really does depend on your unique circumstances. I have known people who have gotten started for $500. I personally started investing with just $1,000. And I can tell you, it was $1,000 that I could not afford to lose. And I must have looked at the stock every day on the hour. And maybe looking back, hindsight, maybe I just wasn't ready to be an investor, but I got started, and I got started with that small amount of money. But there is some guidelines, and I got these guidelines from E-Trade. Let's say that you only have $10,000 to invest, and you are a very, very conservative person. So you would probably put about 20% of that money in the stock market. You'd keep most of it out for things like bonds or CDs or other things that actually are going to give some fixed income, or at least a fixed return, but you're not going to be all that aggressive. If you go down, though, if you're a moderate, you may be spending about 60% of that money. So you may have about $6,000 in the market. And if you're an extremely aggressive person, you probably have about $9,000 in the market of that 10,000. So let's talk a little bit about the game plan. And everything to me, and this is the next slide, everything starts with a game plan or an action plan. And goal setting is step one. What do you want to accomplish through investing? And remember, it is your hard-earned cash. And you want to make certain that that hard-earned cash is working toward a purpose. And it's important to document your goals and to periodically look at those goals to see if you're on track, or you really need to be thinking about doing something different with your goals. And goals could be paying for kids' college, or investing so you can buy some property, or life always, things come up. You may want to make certain that you have money for those expectancies. And to augment your retirement, there is nothing like getting into retirement and having to worry about whether or not you've got to work again. So the stock market can be a great way of augmenting the money that you actually are going to get from your pension. Let's talk about risk. There is no strategy without understanding your level of risk. And you see that roller coaster in this slide right here? And it says, don't panic, this is just a correction. Yeah, you've got to be ready though, because risk will be in the market and there are going to be ups and down time. So let's go to the next slide and let's talk about risk. In this particular slide, what you actually have is a chart. And it begins to talk about selecting your investment style. The first investment style is a conservative person. And you can actually see the kinds of assets they're going to be in. So it's large cap, those are large companies, your Amazons and your Apples of the world where the person's investing. You will see their fixed income. They've probably got bonds and CDs and other kinds of things, primarily with their money, and they've got cash. And if you look at that side over there, the other side where it says historical 15-year return, you're looking at on your best year, you did about 19%. It is the worst year, though, that you have to be most concerned about, because your worst year, you lost about 10% of your money. And on average, as a conservative person over this 15-year period, you made about 4.5% on your money in the stock market. So that gives you an idea about risk tolerance. If you go to the next slide, I'm just going to use that last example. Look at that, that investment style, aggressive growth. So here's a person that is all in, and they're investing in all kinds of things, large cap, they're The large companies, the Amazons, the Apples of the world, the Nestle's, the Cisco's of the world, they actually are in small cap companies, merging companies. They're doing all those kinds of things. But one of the things, if you go to the right side, look at that historical 15-year return. So you're talking about 57%, your best year in the stock market in the aggressive side. But here's what you got to be ready for. 45% lost was the worst 12 months during this 15-year period. And it averaged around 7 to 8%. So that gives you an idea that if you're going to be aggressive, the risk reward is there. You're going to be averaging around 7%. And that is actually pretty decent in the market. There are times when you're going to be doing that 50-something%. And there's going to be times when you may lose. But that's overall what you're going to be looking at potentially. And so let's talk about going to a game. Next slide, please. There's a decision that you got to make in the stock market. You got to decide if you're going to be a do-it-yourselfer, or you got to decide if you're going to be if you're going to work with a broker. And if you're going to be a do-it-yourselfer, you got to put in the work. You heard Stephanie talk about that. One of the things you've got to do is if you're going to be doing it yourself, you got to put in the work. And if you're going to be looking at having someone that would do it for you, a broker, I've got buddies who use brokers. They start off at asking you in some cases 250 to 500K to get their attention. It's not that they won't take your money at lesser levels, but to get their attention, you're walking in the door with some serious capital so that they can actually prioritize you as a client. So let's just say we're going to stick. Next slide, please. Let's say that we're going to stick with a game plan. We're going to select an online broker. Well, this is an analysis that Investors Business Daily actually does. Investors Business Daily is a powerful, what I would call research service that you can use as a trader or as an investor. And they did an analysis, and these are the top 5 that they came up in their analysis. I want to make certain that Stephanie can actually provide these slides to anyone who actually wants them, so you can actually have them and look at this information, and also do your own research as far as investors and do your research and select one. I personally use Ameritrade and I use E-Trade, and E-Trade didn't make the list, but I love E-Trade for its research capabilities. So next slide. The game plan continues, and the game plan continues, and Stephanie talked about this earlier about research. Research is the most important aspect of buying a stock. And I like to use something called soft. I like to just keep it soft in my research. And what I mean by that is I'm looking at the story. What does this company do? Is it a leader in the industry? Does it have products and services that people just gotta have? Like the iPhone, people actually, they just gotta have it. What makes this company the one to deliver it? And here's a key question for every last one of you. Would you want to own this company? All of it, not just a piece of it or a share of it. If you were really evaluating this company, would you say, yep, I'd love to be the owner of this company? And then you start looking at some fundamentals. Do they have strong sales? Are they making money? Are big time investors investing in that company and buying stock in that company? And then the technicals. I would say I'm a neophyte when it comes to the technicals, because I'm beginning to learn more about the importance of the technicals. But you're looking at that relative strength of that stock and that line that you'll see in these charts that basically says, is it outperforming the S&P index? And is the stock, is it moving over certain average days? Like, is it 50-day average price? Is it better than that? Is it better than this 200-day moving average? Is it better than that? So that's the soft methodology when it comes to looking at stocks. The other thing, though, if you can go to the next slide, is you've selected your online broker, you've done your research, you selected a stock for purchase. It's just time to buy. And essentially, what you're looking to do is when you go in to buy a stock on an online broker, you're going to have some options for buying. The first is that a market order. And that basically says, I want to buy the stock immediately. I don't care whatever the price is right now, I'm buying it. And that is the ask price, and you'll see that. You also may want to say, I would like to buy this stock at a future price. And the future price could either be lower in your mind as far as say, I think that stock should be lower than what it is when I'd like to buy it. And some people actually even set orders that are higher in that particular case because they're waiting for the stock to prove itself. And they believe that if it hits a certain level, that's the proof in the pudding as far as that stock is starting to move. And then selling the stock, sort of the same way. When you sell the stock, you're selling it immediately, and which means that you're getting the bid price of a stock. And if you to the limit you're also selling a stock at a future price. So next slide, please. This is what I really want to make certain that I focus on. These are the hard lessons that I had to learn. There are going to be good and bad days in the market. And being mentally prepared for that is important. Don't believe you're smarter than the market. I have seen so many people come in and they just believe that the stock market hasn't seen anything like them and they're going to change the way everything happens. Do what the market tells you. You're not going to be smarter than the market. When the market says that this is in a correction, you make sure that you take the steps to make sure you're protecting the money that you have gained in the stock market. Don't get emotional over stock. People fall in love with a stock, and what they really are doing is falling in love with the ego. I purchased that stock. That stock's going to be a good stock. I know it's down 30%, but it's going to come back. Don't fall in love with it. And if you're going to be a do-it-yourselfer, you got to put the time in. You really got to put the time in, because at the end of the day, you've got to get through the research and think about that soft method. Think about looking at the story, the fundamentals, and the technicals, and have rules and stick with them. If a stock loses 6 to 8% of your initial investment in it, and you say, I sell it when something like that happens, stick with it. Make certain. And if a stock gains 30 to 40% and you sell it, stick with that rule. And the number one thing, though, that I want you to do is a hard lesson is have fun, or don't do it yourself, because it can keep you up at night if you're worried about things like this. And in closing, what I'd like to do is just provide you some resources. I have learned that there are a lot of smart people out there who've done this, who've broken some ground. And I have invested in every last one of these research services that you see. Yahoo Finance, Motley Fool, Investors Business Daily. But there's some other books that you can look at, One Up on Wall Street with Peter Lynch. And I will say the one that I'm actually interested in, and please don't take offense to this, Investing for Dummies. This book is not written for dummies, but it is written in a way where it actually brings things to life for you. And I would say if I had to pick any of the books on this list that I would buy first, I'd buy Investing for Dummies first. And then there's Warren Buffett. And some of you guys have heard of Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time and one of the richest people in the world. There's a YouTube video there to go check it out. It's no more than 10 minutes. And he talks about 7 keys that have actually made him a very successful investor. So that's it for me. And so I really, again, want to appreciate, thanks, Stephanie James, for inviting me. I'm sorry that I can't stay on for the Q&A. I've got to jump on and do something else. But Stephanie is actually going to get any questions that people have, and she's going to email them to me, and I'll get back to you with some answers. Again, thanks a lot, Stephanie, for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joseph. That was so thorough, so thorough. We really appreciate that. I think that the information you provided, I actually, every question I wrote down, you already answered. So I definitely appreciate that. And the viewers will be able to get your information on our website. And definitely awesome information. And I certainly do appreciate your time and the information that you presented to the women of Prince George's today. Thank you again, Joseph.
Well, I appreciate it, and keep on your groundbreaking work. And if you ever need me, let me know. If you need any of the other partners from the Science Group to come on and do some other stuff, we're all in with you, Stephanie. We're all in.
All right, that's what I want to hear. Thank you again, Joseph. Have a good afternoon.
You too now.
All right, very good. Well, that was amazing. I know that that's a little homework for tonight, and I always like to be able to have information to refer back to for sure. Well, our next presenter that we have up is Miss J.L. Wilson Bolton. J.L., I have known, I don't know, a few years, maybe she's my sister-in-law. And she is an independent senior sales director with Marykay. JL has been very, very successful with Marykay, and she definitely is the professional that can share with us, in line with our subject matter today, multiple streams of income. JL, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. And if you could first start off by sharing just a little bit with us about you and your experience with Marykay, how long you've been involved, and what your current position is.
Okay, can you hear me okay? Yes?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, first of all, thank you, sister-in-law. We've known each other for 25 years. Anyway, I have always been so impressed with you, how you bring people together. This has been so informative personally, and I am seeing so many correlations between everything that I've heard. I mean, with Joseph, he definitely took the scariness out of the roller coaster ride that we could be on. And Shelley, you know, again, so much in common as far as residual income. And I think that's what's so critical right now, is having that residual income. And then also, you know, just being teachable, coachable, and willing. That's something that is very important in my business as well. And just having those goals, being able to goal set. And then with Tam, we have so much in common as far as pop-up shops. That's what I do. And tutorials. That's what I do. And you're a fashion expert, and I consider myself a beauty expert. So, I agree, sales have really amped up in this pandemic. I almost feel guilty saying this, but it has definitely been a blessing for individuals like us who do own our own businesses. I have been with Marykay for 32 years. I can't even believe it when I say that, but truly, when you find something you love and something you're passionate about, and as you can hear from all of these speakers, they are passionate about what they do. So find something, as you're looking for alternate streams of income, find something you are passionate about. And I have always been passionate about anti-aging and healthy skin and ageless skin and just beauty. I actually started my business when I was a full-time college student. I was getting my psychology degree from UVA. And I did it just very part-time. It was perfect for me because studying and graduating was my priority. But once I graduated and I started working, and I absolutely hated my job, I thought, you know what? This Marykay business is a clearly laid out career path. You can move yourself up at your own pace when you choose to. And so I was able to move myself from consultantship to directorship. However, the income that I was getting, even as a consultant, allowed me to purchase a townhouse with my brother, and we split all of the bills, and my Marykay income covered my half of the bills. So I was so grateful for that. And then there is a 300% pay raise between consultantship and directorship. And I've been a director now for 24 years, and also being now a senior director. And a fun fact that I learned is that in the next 5 years, 73 million people will start a home-based business. And another fact is that 43% of Americans already have a side hustle, even if they make great money at what they're doing, even if they love their job. People are looking for that plan B. And in Marykay, there's so many different backgrounds, teachers, nurses, military people, because we have no territories. You can take this business anywhere. A good friend of mine is a physician assistant, and she's one of the top directors in our company. So again, you can love what you do and just add this as another stream of income. And something that I've loved about our company is the philosophy. It is a faith-based business. And I think that's a common thread here, is that these business owners have to have the faith and the belief and the passion. And Marykay has always taught us, put your faith first, put your family second, and put your career third. And in that order, everything seems to work out. But the greatest thing I found for my business is the personal growth. And Shelley had mentioned that the $75 is a self-development kit, and a Marykay business is a self-development kit. The greatest thing I've gotten from it is who I've become in the process. And now my greatest joy as a sales director is to just guide and mentor other women to that level of success that they are choosing without pushing, just finding out what their goals are and what their goals outside of a Marykay business are. Do you want to buy your first home? Do you want to get wood floors for your house? Just whatever. And something that I value so much about our business too is the camaraderie and the sisterhood, because technically we're all in competition with each other. If you sell Marykay, I'm your competition because we're selling the same thing. However, there is such a sisterhood, a camaraderie, a culture of encouragement and support, because if I have an idea and you have an idea, we both just have one idea. But if you share yours with me and I share mine with you, we now have two ideas, and we operate in different circles of influence. So now we can take all these ideas and share them with others. And something that I've been very aware of is how Marykay, the company, has shifted during this pandemic. First of all, our manufacturing plant, we have a fairly new manufacturing plant, which is gigantic in Dallas, Texas. And actually the government there reached out to our manufacturing plant to ask if we had the ability to shift and to make hand sanitizer. So we were able to instantly make that shift and donate hand sanitizers in this pandemic. And then also, it usually costs $100 to start a Marykay business. And in that kit, you are getting lots of demos, things that you would squirt out to let people test. But we're recognizing we're not going out right now. So Marykay has reduced the price to just $30. We call it a $30 e-start because it's an e-business. Everything is electronic now. We have websites. We have different forms of payment where you can accept the payment through our websites. And we've also reduced the shipping, the cost of shipping to our clients. And then also the company has provided us with a weekly video that we can be sharing so that we're doing virtual parties, inviting guests, inviting our customers, so that it's actually called We're With You All the Way. And we've had different celebrity guests. This week, it's Kendra Scott sharing about her business and how she actually followed the Marykay model because she grew up watching her mom do Marykay. So it's just so neat to see how we tie into other businesses. And we were thrilled to see that we were labeled an essential business during this time and we were not shut down because it's personal care. And we found out, actually, I heard on the radio on WTOP that the top 2 purchased products during this pandemic are clothing and beauty products. I know I, for one, have been buying.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been buying sweatpants and leggings and all of that so that my lower half is very comfortable. My upper half is very professional. And, I've been learning about Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all of that, where I used to just really stay away from that. But it has been quite prosperous during this pandemic, and I'm really excited.
Let me ask you a question. So would you say that going virtual with most of your, your appointments and your presentations, I know that I attended a really fun Pamper video session, and it was really cool because you sent me the product ahead of time, and then we had the Pamper session via Zoom, and afterwards, definitely there were a couple of products that I wanted to try. But do you think that when this is over, like Tam was saying, are you going to move forward with more of the virtual and less of the in-person in terms of how you engage with your customers?
That is an excellent question. As we're building our business and meeting new people who are becoming business partners, I'm finding a lot of introverts are coming to us because introverts get their energy by being by themselves. They can be out among the people and have, be giving and being servants, but to come back and be, by yourself to rejuvenate, I think a lot of people are attracted to that. And so that's a reason why our business is growing. However, I am an introvert and I am loving working completely from home. I've told my family, I don't know if I'll ever leave home again. So I am totally all about this virtual and so super excited about it. My daughter just mentioned the other day, I was getting off of one of my Zoom appointments as a sales director. I run success meetings. And she said, you're really enjoying your meetings, aren't you? I'm having more people attend now because we've never had territories in Marykay, but now my consultants, I believe we're in 17 different states in my organization. I'm able to get in touch with them personally and to be able to coach and mentor on more of a personal basis. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to be staying home.
Well, I would think, definitely with your business, it's now truly national, even potentially global, because of the virtual aspect. And you could definitely reach and touch more people. You could reach people in your hometown and things like that, where you might not have been able to, or you could, you just didn't really think of it like that until we kind of went through this experience. And so therefore it just explodes what your client base could be.
Right.
Especially since you don't have territories now.
Right.
I don't know. Well, do you think that'll stay the same, having those territories considering this?
Oh yeah, this has been the business
Okay.
model since 1963. Our company's 56 years old,
Okay.
and we've never had territories. But I'm
Okay.
just finding that personally, I'm building more team members in other states. A lot of it is that, you know, people
Right.
that I've shared with before have moved away, or referrals. That's something else that I heard one of the business owners talk about, is that
Right.
our referral business, the word of mouth, because you yourself have given me several referrals, and I'm working with one of them today, another party.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's definitely, the no territories is a strong link in our business plan.
And I think another thing with Marykay is that the product line has revolved over time. It has been something that has kept up with the time, kept up with the needs, kept up with, you know, certain product attributes that have to be present, certain testing or no testing with cosmetics, even for different types of skin, brown skin, lighter skin, even, you know, oily, not oily, skin care, body care, perfume. You know, I think that that's also a welcome surprise when people look at the product lineup and see how vast that product lineup is. And truly, with all of us being more of a one-stop shop type of society, if I can go one place and I can get all these things, and I have a contact that knows my profile, and all I have to do is say, okay, you know, it's that time, send me one of everything, and I don't have to sit down and start all over again. That's also something that I think the customers and shoppers look for, that adds to the advantage of working with Marykay as well.
Absolutely. You just said a mouthful. Actually, Marykay has been labeled the #1 cosmetic company in repeat business. So we have more clients that stick with us than any other company. And you said it, it's because of the customer service that we provide, because I have had customers with me for over 20 years, and they have
Right.
told me that they stick to it because of the personal service, because I do have that profile.
Right.
I know exactly what colors and what their skin type is like. And we have a very extensive research and development team in Dallas. And so we're constantly evolving. We're constantly finding new ingredients. And, you know, our latest one is resveratrol and glycolic acid and all sorts of things, so that we are on the cutting edge. In fact, I have visited our manufacturing plants, met some of the scientists, dermatologists, and it's so fun to just see them in their offices. And what Marykay does is any company will compare the competition, who's out there, and we will not release a product until it's better than the one that the top seller that's out there. So that always gives me confidence. And we actually have 5 different product lines. So depending on your needs, from being a teenager with acne or without acne, to the anti-aging, to the over 50, to men's products. So we absolutely have everything, as well as body care and fragrance and all of that. So, and as far as different shades, we have been named the best company for different varieties of foundation shades. So it's exciting.
So definitely, in terms of option for additional revenue, you've got varied product, you've got structure, you've got training, you've got the support, you've got definitely a long-term brand with recognition and reputation. Definitely something to consider for sure. Last question: is the Marykay stock public?
No, I'm so glad you asked that question. Years and years ago, when our founder was still alive, she did choose to go public. And it did not last long at all, because she found that the stock owners were wanting to make some changes that she did not agree with. So she immediately bought it back. So we are privately owned, family owned, debt-free company.
Gotcha. Debt-free is always the way to go.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you, JL. And I certainly do appreciate you sharing that with us. And as another potential revenue stream, definitely appreciate you sharing all those details. And we are going to move to Shamika Price. Shamika is our final speaker today, and she's with Capital Structures. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about real estate and leveraging your real estate to kind of help through this period. I am in the hospitality industry by day, and, I look at Marriott's layoffs, I look at Hilton's layoffs, I look at these mass layoffs at the executive level, and it is pretty intense. And I know that people have to make some tough decisions in terms of 401ks and things like that. But if you're a homeowner, one of the reasons you're a homeowner is so that you can utilize your home in situations like this to kind of help you get through the sticky period. I know in my industry, a lot of people are on furlough until October. And so it definitely is a little bit of a scary time. So I wanted Shamika just to talk a little bit about some of the options in the industry that can kind of help people during this period. And then also talk about a little bit about the real estate industry as well as another revenue stream. I know sometimes people start in real estate while they're doing other things, but if you could speak to, I guess, those two things, kind of leveraging your house during this time to try to help with income that might have been cut off, and also at the same time talk about becoming a realtor in the DMV and how that works.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you, Stephanie, for having me here. It's a great opportunity. My name is Shamika, as Stephanie said. I am principal broker at Capital Structures Real Estate Agent. We have 10 real estate agents that work alongside me there. I wear multiple hats at the company. We offer services in real estate acquisition, leasing, sales, renovations, as well as homeownership training. I am the general contractor for the company, as well as one of the real estate investors. We have been in business for over 15 years. And I always get tied up here because I do so many different things. So at the company, like I said, we offer homeownership training. Outside of the company, I am the president-elect for the Prince George's County Association of Realtors. We're a 3,500 membership association. I also sit on the executive board for the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce. We're a few hundred member business membership organization, as well as chair the Women in Business Development Committee for the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce. What I am seeing in our industry here is that we have an influx of buyers and low inventory as it relates to listings. So what I'm finding is that sellers now are taking advantage of this opportunity to list their properties, relocate, downsize, and I guess pull income from their equity in the properties. You asked, you said, what are some ways for you to utilize your home, leverage your home for income? One way is to do like a cash out refinance, where if you have more than 20% equity in your home, you can pull that equity out to pay some of your expenses and to take care of some of your debt and your bills as well. But with doing that, you'd have to have paid your mortgage on time for the last 12 months. And I know that's been a struggle for some people. Like you said, some of you all are out of work until October or furloughed until October. And so with that, there's no income coming in. So you can utilize the equity in your home, pull some money out to offset those things, or to start a home-based business. I've found that some of my clients have created, utilized the additional space in their homes to host Airbnbs. Well, and with that being said, they thousands of dollars in doing so. Now, there are laws that govern, each jurisdiction as it relates to Airbnb. You must have a license to do so. It's a short-term rental license that's required here in Prince George's County. It's a fee. It's a fee of $150 to do so. And there is.
I have a question. Can I ask you a quick question? I think I lost the signal for a second, but did you say taking one room of your house to host an Airbnb?
Well, it needs to be a specific area, and I would suggest you using like the basement area where it's separated from your living space, and you can convert
Oh, I
that
see. Okay.
style living where the guests or the folks that you're hosting have their own access to the property. It's cut off from your personal space. And in doing so, this is
Okay.
your primary residence to do this. You must have permission from your homeowners association if you're within that development. You must have community approval as well. And like I said, a short-term rental lease. Rental
Okay.
to do so. And like I said,
Okay.
generated upwards of 3,000 and more in income with doing this. So that's one way to leverage your home and create some additional income. And the other,
Okay.
I don't know if you said you lost me for a minute, but the other way was the cash out refinance, which would be pulling money from the home, from your equity in the home.
Okay. Okay. And a cash out refinance. I gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, that is something that I never thought of before, was the whole Airbnb concept. Now I know with Airbnb, it's definitely an option, but then I know also what comes with that is the whole cleaning process piece. And I guess if you were going to do that, you would find out what the requirements are just to make sure. I'm sure they have their guidelines as to what you need to do to have the facility ready to rent via Airbnb. I guess,
Yeah.
okay.
Just like a list
Okay.
of requirements as well, and you log on to the Airbnb site and it give you all of the guidelines for putting your property on the market or making your property available. And like you said, there is cleaning. There's a high period of turnover as it relates to getting that property ready for the next occupant. And if you want to see income
Right.
increase, then you need to possibly be available to do so or have a service set aside that can do that for you.
Okay. All right. So what about those people, like you were saying, you could cash out refinance, but you have to have paid your mortgage consistent for 12 months. What about, are there any other opportunities for those people who, have been in that situation and cannot apply for that program because they haven't, or people who have weak credit? Are there any other that you know of, government programs or any kind of programs like that, where you might be able to leverage your house and take advantage of some other programs, or some other programs that might not be as stringent?
Well, I've had some clients lean towards doing the forbearance, which is deferring your mortgage payment. Now, at the end of the forbearance period, you do have to pay the mortgage that's in arrears, or you have the option of having it tacked to the back of your loan. And in the end of the period, you need to have a discussion with your lender to decide what's your next steps moving forward. Are they going to tack this money
Mm-hmm.
the loan, or are you going to have to pay it off when the term comes due, or is there room for modification? And in doing so, modification, you must qualify for all these things. So they're going to assess your income, your credit, and so forth, and determine
Okay.
whether you're for that or not. So that's
Okay.
just one option. The other option I'm seeing is that I have some homeowners that are renting their property for a short period and moving out, just so that they can pay their mortgage and generate additional income from that as well.
Okay. All right. And then what about from an aspect of investment? Is this a time that if you do have cash flow that, I remember maybe 10 years ago, everybody was buying and flipping, buying and flipping. Is this the kind of that time to look at opportunities like that?
Well, because we have an influx of listings on the market, this is a seller's market. So the prices are not necessarily low as it relates to finding that steal of a deal. However, it's always a great time to invest in real estate. Like you might have to go out of your comfort area to find that great opportunity. You might have to switch from a short-term flip and turn it into a rental property. You need to be in position to turn what you think may be a flip into a rental opportunity, because the market is trending upwards, but at any point we can spiral down. So I would say it's a great opportunity. You just need to, excuse me, set your goals and determine what you want the outcome to be.
Okay. All right. And then what about from the commercial side? Can you speak to the commercial side in terms of commercial real estate? And go ahead.
From a commercial standpoint, I'm seeing a lot of organizations close down shop and go virtual. So I wouldn't recommend, excuse me, I wouldn't recommend going in that direction personally. Some people see it as an opportunity, may be able to buy that commercial space at a lower rate now, but I wouldn't trend in that direction.
Yeah, I agree with you there based on, even what the ladies have said today, in terms of the direction of a lot of business, people have found that they can sustain themselves, virtually.
Yeah.
What about in terms of, I have a couple of friends actually that just became licensed realtors, and they're super, super excited about being licensed realtors. And actually, listen, I know how busy you are. And then I know I had a friend that just closed on her third house. So in terms of back to the revenue stream, becoming a realtor, is this the time? Is this a short window of opportunity? The investment that you have on the front end to make yourself a realtor that is, successful and profitable. What are your thoughts on all those things?
Well, I think that I don't want to say there's never not a perfect time to become a realtor. It all depends on how you market and brand yourself and how much money you're willing to invest in yourself. It also depends on the work that you're willing to put in and put out for your business itself. And you have to invest in yourself to make money. You have a lot of people that come into this industry, affiliate with a broker, and they feel as though they're going to receive leads, or they're going to be fed customers or clients, and that's just not how it works. So I would say that if you have a great sphere of influence, or you have some experience in sales, and you're a people person, it's a great opportunity. You just have to tap into marketing and branding yourself. You need to find out, like right now, everything is trending on the social media side of things, or virtual side of things. So you need to make sure that you are knowledgeable and that you're touching bases with that audience as well. So yes, I think it's a great time.
Okay. Very good. And I know the process is, tell me what the process is. So you're licensed in the region that you want to sell. And then once you're licensed in the region where you want to sell, is that pretty much the only formal requirement?
Well, you have to take, and I've been licensed for so many years, I should know this because I have 10 agents that work with me, but I believe it's anywhere between 120 hours, 60 to 120 hours that you need to acquire to become a licensed salesperson. And in order to be affiliated in different jurisdictions, your broker has to be licensed in those areas as well. And you have to obtain a certain level of continuing education and law practice or law education in those areas in order to become licensed. You can get a reciprocal license in DC if you're licensed in Maryland as well. You just need to get a certificate of licensure from the Real Estate Commission to do so, and from your broker.
Okay, so you can be, just because of the way the DMV and the proximity, there is an opportunity to overlap from one area to another.
Yes, as well as Virginia, you can receive reciprocal licensing.
Okay.
Well.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend,
and then once you go
in different areas unless you're knowledgeable. I mean, it's
right.
so close in proximity, but you don't want to start selling real estate if you don't know about the areas or the community itself.
Key point, very key point.
Essentially, we come very close in contact with law and contract, so you want to be educated.
Okay. Very good. Well, ladies, we have gone a little bit over time here, and I want to thank everyone for their time today. I know that, just to kind of recap a little bit, Tam gave some insight on what she has done with her business, and basically overall, she has increased her social media presence, and she has had to readjust, completely condones the pop-up shops, and actually that's something that she does on a regular basis, and she may soon be trending to operating completely virtually and letting the brick and mortar go, because this is working from a revenue standpoint. And then also Shelly with Ambit. Shelly has an organization that you guys can tap into for residual income. It's a support system. It has a structure that you can tap into. And the benefit is it can be completely online, and it taps into the energy business. And we all have an electric bill, so therefore there is lots of opportunity there for her product, because it's something that we all have to manage and we all have to deal with. And then we also have Joseph. Joseph gave us some fantastic information on stock investment. Joseph had to jump off, but this entire presentation will be available on the Women of Prince George's website, including his slides and information. Shelly, I don't know if you're able to share your video, but we will at least have your contact information posted as well, and as well as all the speakers' contact information. Tam, we also want to get your information on the boutique online class that you talked about, because I know that there are lots of people, again, as we review additional revenue streams, that will want to be involved in that.
Okay.
And then Shamika shared her information as well on, I never would have thought about taking the basement and turning it into an Airbnb potential, and getting licensed for that. That definitely is an additional revenue stream that, if you have the capability, is something to think about. Or even the refinancing and cashing out, if you have that option. And then also being creative and renting your place in order to make up for that cash flow deficit. So we have had some great ideas as well from JL. JL talked about with Marykay, and she talked about just the whole online aspect of Marykay as well, and how that has shifted how she will do business. And she will never leave her home again, because she will engage with her clients in this manner. And this experience has really opened up her, how you can maneuver, how you can still be successful and go to a virtual business. I think, as we move forward with COVID, these are all things, depending on your situation, that give you varied choices that you could pursue in terms of additional revenue income. So I appreciate your time today. Again, visit the Women of PG website, www.womenofpg.com. Please stay tuned for our next webinar. And thank you again so much, ladies. Everybody have a good afternoon, and I will be in touch with you soon.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.